In the spring of 2017, I was in jail in Psychiatrisches Zentrum Nordbaden, Wiesloch, PZN. I was awaiting trial because I broke Ladenburg police station window. You know, one man, Mr. Stolz, who works for the Ladenburg Rathaus and who also happened to be the janitor to the place I was living. Then he came with a friend of his, Mr. Axel Storm, who works for Rhein-Neckar Zeitung, a newspaper. But I didn't know then. They came along and they got a picture of me. I didn't know that they're going to publish it on a newspaper. But it ended up on a newspaper. And when I got to know about it, they told me that they had my permission to publish it. I kind of was so angry. I had to go to the local court, Amtsgericht Heidelberg. The Amtsgericht said, "Oh, they had my permission if I don't have any evidence to prove otherwise." And so that pushed me to start recording people that I had discussions with and posting them on the internet. If you check my YouTube page, you will see an assortment of recordings that I made with starting with Mr. Ehinger, the social worker at Ladenburg Rathaus, then the police the police in Ladenburg. Because Ehinger, I recorded my discussion with Ehinger and posted it on the internet. He went to the police because it was a crime. It was against self-privacy laws. He went to the police and the police in Ladenburg invited me to make a statement. I also recorded that statement and posted it on the internet. The police got it and they got kind of we are angry. They called me and they seized my phone. I went out of their station, took some stones and broke their windows. And then I was arrested and was taken to this Wiesloch psychiatry. That was in November of 2016. While I was there, and I've been there before. I've been in that Wiesloch before from January 19, 2010 to May of 2015. Though there was there was a period that I left. I escaped from there and went to Luxembourg and came back to. So there was this fraud tax. There was inside this station 11 in this psychiatric hospital. It was a very big clinic. There were doctors, there were nurses, and there were patients. Among these doctors and nurses, we are also one Turkish German woman. She's her name is Stas. Normally you call them Frau women in Germany, where they go by Frau Tas, and then the men go by Herr. So Frau Tas was one of the doctors stationed in this station 11. There were others. From Ramail was my personal doctor then, and then there was this Frau Findekle, and then there was this man. I've forgotten his name. So Frau Tas was asked to write an expert analysis on me that they will go to court with, and she wrote one. Though she didn't come to court to defend it, was Mr. Ubabauer, the chief arst, who came to court to defend it. It was thrown out anyway because I was acquitted. They were all saying, he's mentally sick, because I said, I'm being monitored and there's no reason. I don't know the reason why you're monitoring me. And you have to provide an evidence. Say how we need a proof. And that's why it's all disguised. That's why it's all proxies that they are in a serious bid to cover it up. They're in a denial mode. So this Fratas, she was kind of pretty girl, and but although she was small, they didn't have much height. In the station there, there were 3 television, and the patients were, during their free time, they come out there to watch television. There you are only allowed to, if they are only German stations, and when you sit down there, it's just the majority that carries the vote on what channel you watch. I don't like watching all these things that's going on TV, because it all looks so similar. Not just similar, it's many of those stations, they are just taking cue from what's going on from this entertainment program and trying to replay what they have on TV. And when I watch these things, I kind of like feel like they're taking advantage of me, and it makes me angry. So I don't watch TV. I only watch these live news stations like CNN, CNBC, Al Jazeera, BBC, CGTN, and you name us. If you're just them. But this day I was doing nothing, so I joined the other patients watching TV. But they had the program that day on television was Polizei in Einsatz. There's policemen at work. So while these policemen at work, it's actual police people, but not doing a real work, It's all entertainment. People come in and they get them arrested and they say things what they did, and they put them in jail or something like that. They go to court and blah 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 blah, all that. But what they are doing was they are picking lookalikes of people who are with me in this psychiatry, and they're presenting them and from them they try to disguise the incidents that's going on in this psychiatry, and then they try to replay it. People get this information, but it's not exactly. It's kind of like an infotainment. So they are just putting lookalikes of people that are around me or inside this psychiatry. And then this time around, it was the turn of this Fratas. Once I saw her lookalike on TV, I knew immediately it was her. But something was very striking. The woman on TV was much more prettier than Fratas. And I was like, why is she prettier than her? Yeah, I know. She was dressing far more better than Fratas, So I said, I looked it up, and after the program, the following day, Fratas came around, and I told her, Fratas, you've got wardrobe malfunction. You got to change your wardrobe, because your lookalike is much more prettier than you. She was kind of, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, no, you need to do that. Then she changed her wardrobe, actually. She started dressing well, started wearing mini skirts, petticoats, and all that. She was very fine. And she was much more prettier than she used to be, I didn't tell her that because I was into her or that I wanted her to dress better or anything. I just wanted to let them know that even that there's no need to deny the circumstances that surrounds what I'm complaining about, because even the police, they know about it, and there's no need writing analysis saying that this person is mentally sick, because there's no evidence to prove otherwise. That people know, and that they should come up and just simply say the truth. That's why I told her that. But it didn't. She did not change her analysis or anything. I did not stay there much longer because normally I would have been there for like 3 or 4 years, but I spent 7 months, and I was acquitted during the trials. This incident about having lookalikes is everywhere. It's on video, it's on audio, it's on virtual. They just pick up lookalikes, whether it sounds like names that sound like, or people that look like. Just around me, they try to push them up like they are the ones that are on the waves, kind of like. But they use people to cover up the fact that they are getting information from somewhere else. One day when I was arrested and was brought to that psychiatry that second time, the night that the police brought me to that station, the doctor on duty rejected their papers, rejected to take me in. And when we were going back, the police, they had to take me back to their station to go prepare their paper and get the proper papers. While we are when we went back to the car to drive back to the police station, you know something? The policeman, he turned on his radio, and the radio there was wild jubilation on the radio. And this man, somebody was saying, "Was hast gesagt?" And there was a chorus of voices shouting, "Raus, raus, 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 raus." You know what that means? Somebody was saying, "What did the doctor say?" And this crowd, we are shouting, "Out." They were shouting, "Out, out, 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 out." And then the policeman, he was sitting there, and I was sitting there too. We were listening to this noise on the radio. I didn't ask them if they understood what was meaning, because there's no need. When something is this public, I don't see the reason why one has to come and insist before you could say that this is true or not. So I just left them. I left it run. I spent 7 months. I was acquitted. I was waiting to get a new expert analysis from Dr. Bresch in order to go to court for a revision in order to. They call it Wiederaufnahme. This process that said that I was mentally sick, but then. The immigration, they get faster, and I was forcefully deported. That's why the situation is still as it is presently here in Nigeria. I don't think there's any solution, because these people, they are some of them in this country. I don't know what's going on here. They even feel somehow there was this feeling that. The country seems to be in that mood that they are the ones doing the whole thing. That they are on top of the whole thing, and it's kind of like crazy. This exploitation of the worst kind, and I don't see the reason why anybody should be finding it entertaining. Even the people who are in the same shoe, who are in the same, because anybody who has got this chip, anybody who perceives this message, perceives this information, however you perceive it, whether in a dream, whether you hear some voices in your head, whether it sound in your head or whatever, it simply means that there's something in you that's transferring information, and that thing that is transferring information inside you is also taking information away from you. It's getting information from you. And so if you think you are fortunate or you've got an advantage, you are a pity. And so I want these things stopped. I don't want anybody trying to cover it up, because there's no need. There's worldwide, universal evidence that it is real. I don't need to come out and shout and prove before it's get to be authenticated. Why should I go about doing that? So, fratres, you remember, you dressed well, From Findlay, you remember Lichtenberg. You remember SY. All those things that's going on. Minority opinion could have helped. It's gone a long way. Because there's this universal tacit agreement that there's nobody's going to say that it is going on. Like if you say it, there will be a genocide or something like that. And that has made these things to continue going on. It's not going to be genocide. You're going to help yourself. Your generations unborn. You're going to help all of them. Because this thing is even in little babies. You see them? They all hear voices in their heads. They all they are all conditioned to act in a way. Why would humanity allow that? It's something that is powerful.